This is the word works. This is the word works. This is the word works. Oh,
Hello everyone, welcome back to Combining Spiritual and Academic Excellence Tips, in short, the Sister Tips. As usual, you're with me, Lucy, and my co-host, Rachel. And before we move on to the gist of this episode, I'd just like to ask you to like our Facebook page, like this video, and share with your friends, and also subscribe to our YouTube channel. The YouTube channel is Combining Spiritual and Academic Excellence. Combining Spiritual and Academic Excellence. So that name also goes for the Facebook page. So like it and subscribe to the YouTube channel.
Thanks, Lusu. So today we're going to be talking about a more practical tip that's a little more applicable right away. So we're going to be talking about the importance of setting reminders and how that ties into planning well and doing things well. So setting reminders is really important, and it helps you to know what you need to be doing when. So we've talked a little bit before about time discipline, but this is a different level to that. So have you ever found yourself planning to go to a service at 6 o'clock, but then you lose track of time, and then at 6:30 you realize you haven't gone? Or you're meant to call somebody at 12, but at 12:15 you realize you haven't called, or something like that.
Or you were supposed to wake up at 5 a.m. You were supposed to wake up at 5 a.m. and then, oops, it's 6 a.m.
Exactly, yeah. So we're talking about the importance of reminding yourself to do those things that you intend to do, because you have really good intentions a lot of the time, and we often do, but sometimes we don't actually do what we plan to do. And so the importance of setting reminders is that it helps us to do those things when we want to do them.
Yeah, I think we started on this last time when we were talking about time discipline, Rachel. Last time we started talking about time discipline, and we said there's some people that make plans. Yes, they have the plans on paper. You know, you have a timetable on paper or in an app or whatever you're using, and yet it's just that. It's just on paper. So today we want to talk about how you can achieve what's on paper. And one of the ways in which you can actually discipline yourself into doing what you're supposed to do is actually setting reminders. You just set a reminder. I'm supposed to wake up at 5 a.m. I'm supposed to do this at 12:15. And so at 12:15, an alarm pops up or a reminder comes up. And one thing that I found to be very effective is planning your day. So what I do every day is I use Trello. I know there are different apps that you can use for this, but I use Trello. So what I'll do is I'll put it up on Trello, my to-do list for the day. And so at the end of the day or throughout the day, if I get stuck or if I feel like I'm not making progress or I'm stuck on one thing, I'll go back to it and I'll look at it. What am I supposed to do today? And so at the end of the day, I'll be able to tick off, to just move the stuff that I was supposed to do to this stuff that I have done. So I'll just move that, and then I'll look at, okay, then what's remaining on the to-do plan. So sometimes I use Trello, but there are other times when I use a notepad. Mostly it's Trello, but sometimes I've used a notepad before. I would just write, and I just like that feeling of cancelling out. So I'll just cancel out at the end of the day that, I've actually done this, and that actually helps me. It keeps me focused to say, okay, today, what have I done? Have I achieved what I wanted, what I intended to do? And also, one thing that I use when I'm studying is, I know a lot of people study by saying, I'm studying from 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. But another thing that I found helpful is studying topic by topic. So you say, for example, if you're studying a topic, say subtraction or additions, just for example, I know that's a random example, but maybe you're studying subtractions and additions. So instead of saying I'm studying from 6 p.m. to 8 p.m., you say I am studying subtractions and additions at this time. And then at the end of the day, you actually assess, did I study this topic? Why I use this is because I've noticed that there's some people that say, I'll study from 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. And at the end of the 8 p.m., they realize they only did one page, which is maybe 1% of what they could have done, because the whole time they were just, you zone out. You're just passing time. What's the time now? So you're just checking. And I found this to be really, really helpful for me.
There are a lot of different resources, and we've just mentioned a few, and I think that's a really good place to start. So before we continue to talk about this, we're going to take a short break, and we'll be right back after that. Welcome back, everyone. So as we mentioned earlier, we're talking about setting reminders and the importance of them, but I want to expand on that a little bit and emphasize what exactly this helps you to do. So one, we kind of already mentioned this, but it helps you to save time. It helps you to use your time wisely. And we had an episode where we talked about time discipline, but having those reminders really helps you structure your time and keep on track for what you want to accomplish. And again, that also helps you be on top of your game, that helps you eliminate distractions, and it also helps you maintain that discipline that we mentioned in our last episode. So it's really important to focus on setting those reminders so that you know what you need to be doing when you need to be doing it, and that your time is allocated wisely, especially when you get busier and as you continue to grow and become a professional and work and doing school at the same time. That's really important to set those reminders and use your time wisely.
Yeah, and what I think, in addition to what you're saying, is setting reminders helps you to structure your work. So in the third edition of the CSAE book, Combining Spiritual and Academic Excellence, Pastor talks about planning your success. So he talks about the planning aspect of it, he talks about the measuring aspect of it, and there's the other part where he talks about the structuring of your academic success. So setting reminders is part of that organizing of your academic success. If you want to succeed in your academics, you've got to plan it, you've got to structure it, you've got to organize it, you've got to measure it. At the end of the day, you need to check, okay, did I actually achieve what I wanted to achieve? And if you're going to measure what you wanted to achieve, then you should have actually set what you wanted to achieve. And setting reminders is one of those things that really helps you plan and both plan and organize and actually measure your success.
Definitely. I really think that point about measuring your progress is important to emphasize too, because you see where you're coming from, what you've accomplished, and then where you want to go from there. And I think that's really important. And I think that's something that has helped me personally in setting those reminders. It helps me feel motivated by what I've accomplished and what I've completed.
But what if it's prayer and you're praying and you plan to pray for 1 hour and you end up praying 5 hours? Is that okay? Is that alright?
Then you're
Anyways, maybe that's a topic for another day. But I just wanted to bring that out. There's some things that might seem important, but you've also got to see how that fits into your plan and how that fits into your overall goals. Because there might be some things that are good, they might not be bad at all, they might not be sin, but they might not be the right thing to do in that moment. It might be say, for example, chatting with friends. That's not bad at all, it's not sin at all, but does that fit into your whole plan for the day? Yeah, and those reminders would actually help you to see that.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that's all we actually wanted to cover today. So just reminders to set your reminders for yourself. Really use that to structure your work, plan properly, and measure your progress.
And maybe set a reminder to watch the CC Tips.
Yeah, you can set a reminder every week to watch us every Friday. That's all we had today, but before we go, just make sure you like the Facebook page, subscribe to our YouTube channel, and turn on those notifications so that when our episodes are put online, you're able to get those notifications. That's all we had for today. See you.
The word.